Hi, and welcome to Emma's video blog. And today, this blog is another one of my random waffles, because, I don't know, I'm bored of writing, so I thought I'd waffle generally, yeah, and also that I haven't really been up to much to actually be able to say about, like, again, just scabbing with my parents and be like, so, what you been up to? And like, my dad keeps asking me, have you been out on a night? I'm like, this is at some term. We don't go out on a night. But yes. So today's topic of conversation, I was going to talk about superpowers. More specifically, well, I was going to say my superpowers, but I don't have superpowers. But if I had superpowers, the superpowers I'd have. And hence I thought, for the occasion, I will put on my Superman t-shirt. So I quite like, yeah. No, because if I could have any superpower, any one superpower, I would be able to fly. Because just being able to fly would be pretty epic, really. I was like, yeah, what's better, like, go through the sky and feel like the wind blowing, and have a cape blowing out behind me. I've always wanted a cape. Like, I spend half the time now walking around with my dressing gown on my shoulders, and like, when I'm going upstairs, I like to hold it and feel it go swish out behind me. And probably look a bit of a weirdo, but yeah, because a lot of people, like I say, capes are bad or whatever, like in The Incredibles, like no capes. But I mean, seriously, like if I can fly, I'm having a cape. Just making sure it's detachable, so if anything gets stuck, it can go off and I don't get. Yeah. So yeah, basically that would be my dream superpower, would be able to fly. Because if I think I haven't watched too many superhero movies. There's quite a lot on my list to watch over summer. But from what I've seen, most superheroes don't actually seem to have superpowers. Like, when I was watching the Avengers, I'm like, most of these don't really have superpowers whatsoever, particularly. I haven't watched all the Avengers films, so I don't. Well, all the Marvel. Yes, I don't know the full extent of, like, the plots, but basically, well, Iron Man, that's just a guy in a suit. He has no superpowers. Black Widow, I never entirely got what she was meant to be doing in Avengers anyway. She just seemed to be running around a bit. I couldn't seem to see a particular purpose for her character. So yeah, Hulk does actually, well, if you say to the green blobby monster thing as a superpower, what? Yeah, well, I think he's got more superpowers than most of the Avengers, really. Which was Hawkeye just seems to be quite good at shooting arrows, but that's more of a skill than a superpower. Which one's other? Captain America. I don't well, did we say he's immortal? Actually, I haven't seen any of the actual films apart from the Avenger one. But yeah, but apart from that, he just seems to have a cool shield. But I'm like, that's not superpower. That's just only a cool shield. That comes in rather handy. And then Thor, you can kind of debate, but well, yeah, again, mainly it's because he has a cool hammer, which is supposedly kind of magic or whatever. Like, I mean, he can kind of fly when he's got his hammer, and like Thor 1 has shown he's not totally useless without it, but still, again, I wouldn't entirely say his superpowers. Like, so much you could say Loki has more superpowers because at least he can do the cool magic-y stuff and make him turn into other people. Whereas, yeah. So that's probably the reason why Superman is my favourite superhero, in that he has superpowers. Like Batman's just a guy who runs around in a costume beating people up. That's just half superhero seem to be. But yeah, so if I was a superhero, I would have actual superpowers. No, because that's the thing, I can't have random daydreams. And I have a particular set of superpowers in all of them. And I'm not sure quite why I came up to them, because everything's a bit random and like, so not entirely useful. And then like I get into massive like debate in my head and all like the moral issues of my superpowers and all like the issues behind it. I'm like, why am I going to this much thought about like, yeah, I'm like, I don't have superpowers. But yeah, so if I did, my 3 superpowers I have, because people are like, what superpowers would you have? But I'm like, well, I know what superpowers I'd have. If I had to pick them, I don't know if they'd necessarily all be ones I'd pick. I don't know, kind of a long story. I won't go into all of it. Basically, the first one is being able to fly, which would be what I would pick. And then also, I can turn invisible whilst flying, which is pretty useful, so I can fly around, no one can see me. But like, if the invisibility stops when I'm no longer flying, which would be kind of a bit irritating, because like one of the things I'd like to do if I was super, I would go and fly and sit on roofs and stuff. I always used to have a thing about roofs. Like I'd sit at school, I'd look out the window and I'd just like climb on the roof. But I was thought, no, I'll get in trouble. And then yeah, the thing is, I better fly up there. But as soon as I landed on it, I'd be visible again, and then that would have been much use. Then my second superpower. Oh, this is a weird one. I don't even know how my head came up with this one. Is being able to click my fingers and break glass. Like I do a lot of things. My imagination. I think basically superpowers evolved a bit as I go older. But at first it was meant to be that I'd have to look at a particular window or whatever, a particular piece of glass, and it would smash. But then it said, well, I'll put best to explain. It's kind of interconnect to these superpowers. Because the third one is sort of teleportation, but I can basically see a live image of like the whole world in my head. Like I better think, I don't know, like my bedroom at home, and I better see live image. And here, and this is again meant to be one of the things that evolved. Like first, I could only go teleport to places where I knew and it wouldn't be live. And then I said, so now I'm supposed to think anywhere, like I can think random place in Australia. I better see it, and like I've never been there, but then I better teleport there. And then like so, I think the purpose of the being able to see stuff was meant to be for the teleporting, but actually I would use it for like more useful stuff. Well, you could use it for sort of semi-spying on people, but in not a weird way. More like, I wonder where so-and-so is, she's meant to be here. And be like, oh, yes, they're on their way. But and also it'd be quite useful for like just watching films and stuff rather than having to go to the cinema. You can just think, right, it's on at a time, so at that time you sit down wherever you want and you better watch it in your head. And so that'd be quite useful. But I think also this is meant to interconnect with my breaking windows, clicking fingers power, because I can see a glass thing in my head, like a window in I don't know Argentina or anywhere, and I'd just go and it would smash them, and so I'd have to be nowhere near it. And yeah, and so those are supposedly my three, well I kind of call it three superpowers, but I think they all interlink as such in its film. But yeah, those are the ones I have in my head when I daydream, and then I come up with various plots of ways to use them, like such as have ways to communicate with people by having particular glasses which mean particular things and breaking particular ones. So like like they say if they ask yes/no questions, you'll be yes glass and a no glass, and you can communicate with them like across the distance. And yeah, I don't know. I think I spend too much time thinking about this. Like quite often, like it's a scenario, and then something happens, and the second I forget, wait, I have a solution to this. I'm like, what's the solution? And then I'm like, oh wait, that requires superpowers. That's not going to work. It's kind of annoying. But yeah, so that's a basic summary of my superpowers, which I don't actually have, but yes.